Welcome to today's story. An asteroid hit the Earth, and something very strange happened to three dinosaurs from that moment on. Get ready for the most confusing and funniest time travel adventure in prehistory.
The asteroid that just wanted to talk. 66 million years ago, dinosaurs ruled the Earth. They were strong, majestic, and, well, not the best at listening to warnings. One evening, three dinosaurs, Tony the T-Rex, Benny the Brachiosaurus, and Kevin the Velociraptor, were chilling by a lake, enjoying the sunset. "You know," Benny said, stretching his long neck, "I feel like something big is coming." Kevin snorted. "Pfft, you always say that. Something big is coming. Last time, it was just a slightly bigger coconut." Tony, munching on a tree, yes, he was on a diet, frowned. No, I think Benny's right. The air feels weird." Just then, the sky lit up with a giant ball of fire. "Oh, pretty," Kevin said. "Maybe it's a new kind of sun." "That's not a new sun, you walnut brain. That's a boom." The asteroid crashed into the ground, shaking everything. A deep rumbling voice echoed from the massive crater. "Finally, I've been trying to get your attention for ages." The dinosaurs stared. The asteroid was talking. Who are you?" Tony asked. "I'm Steve." The asteroid. "Nice to meet you." Kevin waved. "Hey, Steve. Cool entrance." "What's up?" Steve sighed. "Listen, I've been meaning to warn you guys about, volcanoes, climate change, all that. But you dinosaurs never look up." Benny blinked. "Wait, what?" "I kept sending little meteorites as hints. Tiny space rocks. But no, you just ignored them." "Oh," Kevin said. "You mean those things that hit Dave last week?" "Yes. That was me trying to talk to you." Tony frowned. "So are we in trouble?" Steve shuffled awkwardly. Kinda." Silence. Kevin, always the optimist, clapped his tiny raptor hands. "Well, at least things can't get worse." And then the volcanoes started erupting. Benny sighed. "I knew something big was coming." "Oops. My bad." The earth was shaking. Volcanoes were erupting. The sky was filling with dust. Steve the asteroid looked around at the chaos and scratched his rocky head. "Okay, this might have gone a little worse than expected." Tony the T-Rex dodged a falling tree. "A little." "Steve, you literally crashed into the planet." Kevin the Velociraptor was sprinting in circles. "What do we do?" Benny the Brachiosaurus, still calm, took a deep breath. "Okay, let's think. What's the worst that can happen?" A moment of silence. Then crack, the ground split beneath them. Come on." Steve groaned. The dinosaurs and the asteroid watched as lava spilled from the cracks, meteors rained from the sky, and giant tidal waves formed. Kevin clutched his tiny raptor head. "This is a terrible day." Benny, always the deep thinker, turned to Steve. "Wait a minute. Can't you, fix this?" Steve hesitated. "Oh." Tony squinted at him. "You can fix this, right?" Steve cleared his throat. "Okay, so funny story." "No." Silence. Kevin face-bombed. "So we're doomed." Steve scratched his surface awkwardly. Mostly doomed. Probably doomed. Like 98.7% doomed." Benny blinked. "Wait, what's the other 1.3%? Steve grinned. "Well, there's one last option." Tony crossed his arms. "I swear, if you say move to another planet." Steve beamed. "Move to another planet." The dinosaurs groaned. Kevin, however, jumped up. "Yes, I knew this day would come." Benny tilted his head. "Wait, you already had a plan?" Kevin nodded excitedly. Oh yeah, I built a spaceship, just in case. Steve and the dinosaurs stared at him. You built a spaceship? Tony asked. Kevin grinned. Duh. You guys never listened to my ideas. Steve clapped his rocky hands. All right, Space Raptor, show us the way. As the last of the dinosaurs scrambled into Kevin's totally not finished yet spaceship, they were excited, confused, and a little terrified. All right, guys, let's go, Kevin shouted. Tony the T-Rex was already halfway into the ship, his tiny arms struggling to buckle up. Are you sure this thing works? Trust me, I watched a ton of sci-fi movies, Kevin said with a grin. Just don't touch anything unless you want to go to the moon or, the year 3052. Benny the Brachiosaurus peeked over Kevin's shoulder. What does that button do? And oh! Kevin screamed, but it was too late. Benny had already pressed the random time jump button. The ship shook. The lights flickered. And before anyone could protest, the dinosaurs found themselves in an entirely different place. They stumbled out of the ship and looked around. This isn't Earth, Tony said, looking around at the strange landscape. This isn't even the same planet, Benny added. Guys, Kevin said nervously, looking at the ship's control panel. I think we might have accidentally time traveled. Suddenly, a group of small, confused-looking humans appeared, staring at the strange, gigantic creatures before them. Are those dinosaurs? One of the humans asked, clutching a spear. Hey, we're not that old. Tony snapped. Benny sighed. Of course. Of course we end up in the one time where humans have spears. Kevin looked at the humans, a mischievous grin forming. Hey, I think we're in the Stone Age. What's up, caveman? One of the humans pointed at Kevin, confused. That's a talking lizard? Kevin nodded proudly. Yep, you're looking at Kevin, the world's first raptor to ever use social media. What's social media? Another caveman asked. Kevin blinked. Never mind. Just ignore that. Hey, do you guys have like pizza or Wi-Fi? The cavemen just stared. Meanwhile, Tony tried to explain their situation. We're not supposed to be here. We're from the future. We're just lost, really. The cavemen started murmuring to each other, scratching their heads. One of them stepped forward and handed Tony a large rock. You are lost, big lizard, he said. Maybe you need to find your way back with rock technology. Tony looked down at the rock. Rock technology? You mean like this? He tossed the rock into the air and caught it with a flourish. Kevin's eyes widened. Oh no, Tony, don't. But it was too late. Tony launched the rock high into the air, only to have it smash into the time machine. The ship whirred and sparked as the time jump was triggered again. Well, this is just great, Kevin shouted as the ground began to shake. We're going back, right? Right. But before anyone could answer, the time machine sputtered, and the group found themselves in a new time. This time they looked around and saw a world filled with dinosaurs that looked strangely familiar. I think we've just landed in the age of our ancestors. Tony gulped. Great. So not only are we time travelers, we've now become tourists to our own extinction. Fantastic. And so, once again, the dinosaurs found themselves lost in time, unaware that each new jump would only bring more absurd adventures. After the time machine malfunctioned yet again, the dinosaurs found themselves, again, in an unfamiliar world. This time, however, it was oddly peaceful. Kevin the Velociraptor stepped out of the ship and sniffed the air. This smells like marshmallows. Benny the Brachiosaurus bent his neck, looking over the treetops. Yeah, I don't think we're in the Stone Age anymore, guys. Tony the T-Rex looked around with suspicion. Alright, who's gonna tell me where we are? This place looks too nice. Almost vacation-y. As they wandered further into the forest, they stumbled upon a clearing where a group of scout kids were setting up tents, preparing for a campfire. They were wearing funny little neckerchiefs and holding various camping tools. One of the scouts, a young boy named Timmy, spotted the dinosaurs and gasped, "Whoa, are those real dinosaurs?" Kevin grinned and waved. "Yup, the real deal. Who needs a time machine when you have dinosaurs?" Timmy blinked. Right, cool." Before the dinosaurs could say anything else, Timmy ran over to his fellow scouts. "Guys, you won't believe it. There's a T-Rex and a Brachiosaurus out there." The scouts crowded around. A girl named Sarah, always the skeptic, raised an eyebrow. "Okay, are you sure? Maybe you ate too many marshmallows." But when the dinosaurs stepped forward, she stared, wide-eyed. "Whoa, you really are dinosaurs?" "Yes, we are," Tony said proudly, puffing out his chest. "And we're here for the ultimate scout experience. What do you have for us?" Sarah looked to Timmy for guidance. He shrugged. "I guess they could join our campfire story time." And so, as the sun set and the campfire crackled, the dinosaurs settled down with the scouts, joining them for a fun evening of stories and laughter. "All right, what kind of stories do you guys have?" Benny asked, his long neck bending down to listen. That a scout named Jake grinned. "Well, we could tell you about our last hike, but it doesn't compare to the adventures you must have had." Kevin leaned in. "Oh, we've had some adventures, all right. You guys ever time traveled?" The scouts gasped. "Time travel?" Benny chuckled. "Yeah, we've seen some weird things, but nothing quite as weird as this." He motioned to the whole camp. "A bunch of kids running around with neckerchiefs, and not one of you has a clue about dinosaur survival." Timmy laughed. "Hey, we know how to start a fire. Want to see?" The night continued, with the dinosaurs joining in on the campfire games, telling wild stories of their time in the past, and listening to the scouts' adventures. After some roasted marshmallows and a few games of charades, which was quite challenging for Tony's tiny arms, everyone gathered around the fire. Kevin stretched his little raptor arms out. "You know, I didn't think I'd be hanging out with a bunch of scouts in 2025. Tony nodded. "Not what I expected when I woke up this morning. That's for sure." Benny yawned. "But honestly, this is the most relaxed I've been in centuries." The fire crackled. The stars twinkled above. And for the first time in a long while, the dinosaurs felt like they truly belonged. The end.
Thanks for your company. Like and subscribe for more stories.